and welcome to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy. Here we are again for another episode of Off the Rip. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Good to see you. So what is an Off the Rip video? Well, it is part one of three parts that Mr. Randy does a whiskey review. Part one, Off the Rip, I get the bottle home, crack it open, have the first pour, and share my first impressions with you because you are important to me. With that being said, part two is going to be halfway down the bottle. I'm going to give that whiskey enough time and space to open up, see if the characteristics change. For better, for worse, it is what it is. Hopefully, for the better. I have no doubt, because the caveat being carried here is that Mr. Randy has done this bottle review before, way back in early 2025, before I started actually doing the videos and in a whole YouTube channel thing. I did the Still Austin straight bourbon, and now we're doing the straight rye. So I did those two. If you look back through my library of videos, you'll find a video labeled Be Still My Austin. Now that video was a bottle of Mr. Randy's Home collection where I mixed the rye and the bourbon together after I did this bottle and the other bourbon bottle. And I let that mature for a few weeks, and it was so delicious, that's what I titled it, Be Still My Austin, like Be Still My Heart. It was so beautiful, it was a delicious whiskey, just amazing. So, but the thing is, I did not record those videos because I was not in the recording process yet, but I was already starting the reviews and whatnot for other various websites and or social media platforms. So here we are. Going to finally get back around to catching back up, doing some of those video reviews that missed it the first time around in the very beginning. So part three is going to be called the final pour or two. So when we get down to the final last pour or two of the bottle, we come back, we try and see if the last pour matches the first pour or anything in there between. So there might be a little dust on the bottle, but don't let that fool you about what's in. I'm sorry. I just couldn't help myself. You see that dust on there? I was kind of shocked at that too. Sometimes these 375 milliliter bottles, they do sit there and collect some dust. So we're going to go ahead and let me give you a look at the bottle before we get too far into it. So this is a straight rye whiskey called The Artist by Still Austin. It is a 49.8%, which is a 99.6. Just a notation that this is higher proof than the actual bourbon that they have. Now, taking a look at the back, pretty much everything that's on the other one, I'll give you just a moment. Pause it if you must. So Still Austin is just about 20-something, maybe 30-minute drive south of me. Certified Texas Whiskus, aged at least 2 years. I do believe that the majority of them are closer to 3, if not a little more. They're not quite 4 years, so they can't say 4. They really do take a lot of plastic and whatnot to secure that cork pop in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's tight. It is a synthetic cork. Let's go ahead and get a pour on. Glug, 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 glug. So, let us know in the comments. Have you tried Still Austin? What do you think? What's your favorite? Let us know. While we give that just a moment to open up, I do not have my notes. But this bottle, this 375 bottle, is about $22 to $23 in my area. Relatively cheap. Maybe not cheap for a 375, but for a damn good whiskey, that's a good price. Now you can see, I think this is a little bit darker than the bourbon was. We're going to go ahead and pull out the Mr. Randy's handy dandy whiskey color scale. Has seen better days. Seen better days. So the color is going to be... It's going to be... kind of mahogany. Maybe an Auburn tawny. Sorry. Yeah, we'll probably plug it at Auburn and tawny. I'm going to have to fix that. Maybe make another one. Beautiful color. Kind of akin to creek water. It's really clinging to that glass. Let me see if I... Can't get some legs to start running. Here we go. A little bit there. Slow starting, but look at that. That's not too bad. That's kind of hard to see. I need to get some kind of contrasting background going on there. On the nose, much easier, much more appealing, in my opinion anyhow, more so than a bourbon. This is actually a really good rye. I remember it to be better than a bourbon. You still get that pencil eraser, and if you know Mr. Randy, you know when he smells pencil eraser, you got a good bourbon on your hands. Okay. There's that sweetness, that sort of like sweet, that like, it's hard to explain, but a rye has a bit of a different kind of sweetness and smell to it. It's a little bit odd, but it's very nice. Still, Austin does a pretty good rye. Trying to give this just a few extra moments to try and open up a little bit more. But we're going to get to all of the good stuff halfway through. See you back here in part 2 for all that information. Let's get it on the palate. Okay, so just like the bourbon, immediately there's going to be a drying effect. And then it quickly dissipates and switches over to the sweetness of the rye, the oakiness, the vanilla. The one characteristic that's missing from the rye that's in the bourbon is that cinnamon, like the red hots. It's not on the rye. It's a different kind of sweetness, but not the red hots, not the cinnamon. That's a very nice rye. I think as far as that standard rye kind of whiskey goes, this one definitely hits it, and hits it hard. Quite literally, I think it's the best rye that I've had. That Jack Daniel's single barrel rye was very nice. I wouldn't say it was as easily as drinkable as this one is, but like I said, I drank that, and I drank it well. Had to sip it. Had to really, really sip it. This, you could probably go a little bit more on it. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a finish on this. That's some pretty good viscosity, wouldn't you say? Look at that. And that does transfer well into the mouthfeel. It's not overly oily, but it's definitely nowhere near watery. So you're getting this sort of, sometimes you can get a little bit of mint out of a rye. It is kind of there. You get that sweet oat, vanilla, a little bit of vanilla, but I think it's more of the mint is a little bit better in there more than the vanilla. How about that artwork, huh? They got some artwork. Well, it is the artist, by the way. It's a very nice rye. Still, Austin makes good whiskey. Now, I've had the bourbon, the rye, and the gin. They make really good gin, too, as well. So if you're into gin, try the Still Austin if you haven't. If you aren't into gin, the Still Austin makes a pretty good gin. And it's about, I think, what was it, $30 for a standard size 750 milliliter. That's a good price for a really good gin. So the finish sort of well balanced and sort of evenly distributed, clear across the tongue, over the sides and the jowls. Not a whole lot of action on the roof of the mouth. It doesn't hit hard or fast or heavy on the back end where it sits on the top of the esophagus or the back of the mouth. It's got a little bit of heat, a little bit of numminess. It's really good. Relatively balanced, but again, we are on the first pour. Now, because I've refined my process of the being three-parter, I'm not going to be mixing the rye again with the bourbon. I might buy additional bottles to do such a thing, because like I said, when I mixed those two together and I nailed it and labeled it as Be Still My Austin. Beautiful, beautiful whiskey. But to do the full review for you, the honest full review, we're going to have to just keep it separate and keep going down to the last pour. So With that being said, we're going to see you back here right about around this part for part 2 of the full review. I'm going to have as much information as I can. It's all good stuff. And so let us know in the comments what you think about Still Austin. What's your favorite? Do you like Rise? As always, thanks for stopping by here at Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. You have a good one.